releases here in the last week, and then this week as well. It's coming up that I feel maybe you should check out a little bit. So right now, one thing that's big right now is the DC Absolute Universe, right? So we've had Absolute Batman, we've had Absolute Wonder Woman, we've had Absolute Superman, but here they're starting to add to that universe. Last week we had Absolute Martian Manhunter, which was spectacular. The week before that, we had Absolute Flash with Wally. Loved it. And then here coming up, we've got Absolute Green Lantern. If you haven't checked this series out, just in general, the Absolute Universe is spectacular all around. They've got some really good writers on this. The series is fantastic. The art in each one of them is amazing. I believe that they deserve reading if you're a comic fan. If that's something that you're into, that is. If not, we completely understand on that. But it is something I would recommend as far as the series goes. I'm looking forward to see where they're going with the future of the Absolute series and the different comics. And hopefully we get an interconnection on that later down the road. That'd be cool to have like an Absolute JLA. I don't know if that's been planned or not, but it would be neat to see that. And so that's one thing that I recommend. Now the other one was one of my absolute favorite Batman stories, and that's Hush. And so Hush 2 has just came out. Batman 158 was released on March 26th, and that picks up Hush 2 on it. And so the first Hush was spectacular. A great artist, great writing, all around perfection with Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. And so if you're a Batman fan, I highly recommend picking up this series. I loved it. As far as the first one goes, the first issue obviously is the setup for it, which it was good in general, 158 being. And it's something that I would recommend to anybody that's a comic/Batman fan. Next up on our list, we've got two comics that's coming from Titan, and we'll get into that a little bit. But Solomon Kane is releasing with a new series. It's The Serpent Ring #1. It came out on March 26th. I haven't had a chance to read this one just yet, but it's something that I really want to pick up and really want to read. I just love the world of Robert E. Howard and what he's created. And so with these artists and writers bringing back Solomon Kane, I think it's definitely going to be good, because the last time we seen Solomon Kane, he was in Battle of Blackstone, which was a Conan crossover event comic type deal, in which it pulled characters from the different Conan, Robert E. Howard universe and put them in one short series. I really like that series. I'm a huge Conan fan in general, and so I'm really looking forward to what Solomon Kane may bring to the table of that world, just to see what it does moving forward. Next up, obviously, Conan the Barbarian. I love Conan. I always have. I am working on a original set of the Marvel 1 through 275 Conans. I've got quite a few. Still got a long way to go on it. But I've always been a fan of Conan through the highs and lows of the character. But right now they have probably one of the best authors that I've seen in a while. Not saying that the other ones are bad or anything like that. But I really like the work that Jim Zub brings to the Conan world. He has a great way of storytelling, but combining the action needed with Conan, with the brutal scenes. But also you can tell he has a love of Robert E. Howard's legacy, that it tells great stories and his faithful adventures in the Hyborian Age. And recently I did just get an autographed series. It's a trade paperback that a friend of mine in Florida met for me, and got it from Jim in MegaCon in Florida there. And so it's one thing I can check off my list. I've got Jim Zub's autograph. I highly recommend it. One thing, though, that irks me a little bit, and this isn't about Jim Zub. This is talking about Diamond Distribution. And if you know Diamond, you know what I'm about to say, is that with the distribution of some of their comics, like for instance, Titan, who publishes Conan and Solomon Kane, Titan has filed for some type of bankruptcy, I believe, and that they're trying to realign, from my understanding, and I may be wrong on that, but it is causing delays, and so I'm not a big fan of that. Like, I like to get my reading, when near the date of release, day or two, 3 days, whatever it may be, but sometimes it's 2 and 3 weeks on it, depending on where it's at. But the good news to that is I recently read that Titan Comics is moving their distribution to Lunar. And so that they handle DC, I believe. And so I think that that's going to be a great step for anybody that's a Conan fan or a Titan fan in general. They've got other titles that I find really fascinating. Conan being my primary go-to. And so I think that's a good step in the right direction for Titan distribution and getting the comics in the hands of the fans. And that way we can enjoy the work that's been put forth with the art and the writing and everything in those comics. But that's what we've got on comics. Up next, we're going to dive into a little bit of gaming. So we're going to be mainly talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's the newest release. It came out on March 20th. Now, latest that I had seen is that this game had crossed 3 million players, which is a fantastic feat. I absolutely love this game. I've been playing it quite a bit. From what I've seen on it, it was the second highest day one sales revenue in Assassin's Creed franchise history. It was the biggest Ubisoft day one ever on PlayStation Digital Store. And it has over 40 million hours already played. And so I've been playing it since day one. I don't have as many hours into it as some, but what I do have into it, I can tell you the game is fantastic. The graphics, the story, being able to switch between Nawe and Yasuke is so cool because of the different techniques that they have. Sometimes you need a little bit of stealth. Sometimes you need a little bit of muscle. It's a good combination, and I think it balances itself out quite nice. So far, I've thoroughly enjoyed this game. If you're an Assassin's Creed fan, I highly recommend this game. I think it's one that will go down as a fan favorite. For me, it is up there. I've liked all the Assassin's Creed. Do I like some over others? Not so much, but I still enjoyed the game. I thought they was all fun in their own ways. And I do recommend this one. Whether you're on console, PC, it doesn't matter. I recommend trying to play it if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed. And speaking of that, if you haven't checked this out, this was pointed out to me by my boo, Thunder. There's a remix of a soundtrack. It's on YouTube, is where I seen it at. It's by Lo-Fi Girl, and let me tell you, that music it's awesome. Like, I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to that music remix that goes right along with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I just seen where you can actually pre-order the vinyl record of that. I think it said it comes out in July. And let me tell you, it looks very well done. The record, the art on it, it looks like it's 2 vinyls. And so if you're into that, I would highly recommend checking out that pre-order. It's under Lo-Fi Records. But it's something that it really ups the beat when you're listening to that on YouTube and playing the game itself. I think that it adds a different element, but also brings the hype when it comes to these fight scenes that you're getting into and the beats that you're hearing as that's going on. I think it's something that it's very well done. Very well done musically. Highly recommend it. Lo-Fi Girl, Assassin's Creed Shadow collaboration. It's an awesome, awesome combo. I look forward to seeing what else they may do with that. But yeah, I mean, that's mostly what we have this week on our little tangent trail. Next week, we are going to be sitting down with Renegade Titan. We're going to dive into it a little bit. We're going to talk to him, get to know the man, talk some games, movies, who knows what else may come up. But I think it's going to be a good little sit down interview with him there, and we'll get it out there. But yeah, that's all we've got this week. I appreciate each and every one of y'all, and we'll see y'all next week.